All right. In today's economy, companies are being forced to make tough decisions about where they spend their marketing dollars. Offering a guide in these challenging times, our next speaker, April VanTassell, CEO and marketing strategist at Infinite Digital Marketing and Web, will share her viewpoints on the topic, making the most of your marketing budget amid a downturn. Not only that, the speaker will share examples of how other companies have made their budgets work despite limited resources and how you can do the same thing. Give it up for April, everyone.
Everybody. So there's been a lot of talk, and I'm sure you guys are seeing it everywhere about this recession that's supposedly coming, or as some argue, it will be coming. And what's the first thing that businesses do as soon as they hear that a recession or something's coming that's going to affect their bottom line and their profits? They cut their marketing budget. So as we said, the recession is going to be here. We're already seeing some of it. It's inflation, supply chain issues, higher wages, higher costs. And what is this going to do? That's eating into their marketing budget. So a lot of times these companies are going to have to be more strategic of where we're going to implement our marketing that's going to give us the best return on investment. So does anybody know the story of Post versus Kellogg's? So we're going to talk about the biggest recession that ever happened, the Great Depression. So during the Great Depression, Post was like most companies. They said, you know what, we're going to reserve any money that we have so we can survive the rest of the time. And they didn't do any marketing. They just stayed put. Now, Kellogg's saw an opportunity. They said, you know what, all of our competition like Post is pulling back. They're not doing any marketing. So what did they do? They invested what they had into their marketing. And now Kellogg's is the biggest cereal company and most recognizable out there today in 2022, almost 2023, while Post and the rest of them are continuing to catch up. And that is what happened. They invested into their marketing, even during these really hard times. I mean, if Kellogg's can invest in their marketing in the Great Depression, then your business and many other businesses can invest during these recession times and still succeed. So we'd like to start with an integrated strategy. That's the best way. It takes at least 8 touch points to reach your audience. So if you're using only one channel, it's going to take a very long time to reach them. Whereas if you're touching them through email, then you're touching them through social media, you're touching them through Google, you're going to be able to touch them a lot faster, and you're going to push them down the sales funnel a lot more. So we want to make sure that that our channels are working cohesively, that your social media is pushing them to your websites, that your website is pushing them to your email marketing, etc. We also want to make sure you're using the right channels. How many marketing agencies have businesses that when you ask them what social media channels are you using, they say, okay, we're using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, and anything else, Reddit, anything else they can think of. Has anyone ever had their... So we've had that happen. And a lot of times we tell them, you should just be on Facebook and Instagram. So they're wasting not only just their money, but they're wasting their time, which time is money. And they're wasting on these channels where their audience is not there. So nobody's buying from them. So that also goes into being where your target market is. Know where they are and invest in those channels. And like we said, use multiple touch points. So the big thing right now is social media. We're seeing a very small reach now with it. The reach has depleted, and that is because of Meta. There's so much content on there right now. People are fighting for it. So they're being very selective of who's seeing what. If you have thousands of followers, or even if you do have thousands of followers, only 3 to 5% of those followers are actually seeing your posts. This also increases the cost of their CPC on ads, because now that everybody is finding that their reach is going down, they're investing in ads, which is making ads very competitive. And now we're seeing also a pullback on that social media because of it. Businesses are doing more DIY, do it yourself, or I have an associate to do that. The content competition is, like we said, very high, and many businesses are saying it's just not worth it. However, there are a lot of businesses that can benefit. Most of the time, people are being referred on social media, especially local small businesses, your local bakery, your local auto parts store. They are being referred still on Facebook. Nobody's really, people do search on Google, but most of the people are getting referrals. So like we said, now on the LinkedIn side with the B2B, LinkedIn only has 1% of the users actually sharing content. So it's the exact opposite as Facebook, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. So if your clients or any of your customers or even you are using LinkedIn, make sure you're showing your thought leadership, because number one, LinkedIn is free to use, and LinkedIn is so desperate for content right now that they're going to promote anything. So make sure that you're making it sound great and that you're pushing it out there on LinkedIn, because you're going to get seen a lot more compared to Facebook, Twitter, or any of the other ones. And like we said, some businesses like salons, food businesses, they're going to be highly still using those, because what we've seen is a lot of local groups, Facebook groups, have been referring your local moms groups, your local town groups. Somebody will ask, where should I get a cake for my, son or daughter's birthday? And they say, go to this bakery, go to that bakery. So we're seeing a lot of those groups still doing it, even though the reach is going down. It's still a lot of word of mouth. So you want to make sure that, we do that for our clients. We'll actually join these groups as individuals, and we'll go ahead and refer our clients if we think that, it's a good fit for them. We're going to get into SEO. We touched on that earlier this morning, and we're seeing a lot of businesses investing more heavily in SEO, especially since social media is going down, because more people are searching on Google. I mentioned before, 72% of users are going to search on Google and learn about your business or learn what options there are before they even pick up the phone and call you. It also leads to long-term lead generation. SEO is great because, it's a constant thing. It's not like ads. Once you shut off the ads, your leads are no more. It's always going, and you're getting qualified because you're making sure to connect with those. And about SEO, like I said before, it's about creating the best user experience. That's what Google is all about. It is not about who can beat the algorithms or who can, create the best content for the Google bots. It is who can create the best user experience, who has the best answer and the most likable answer to somebody's search inquiry. And also, the only cost is the SEO agency. You don't have to pay extra with ad spend or anything else. And like I said, you're going to get a lot more return on investment compared to the ads. Now, we also have content marketing. Content marketing is another thing that we're seeing a lot of businesses investing heavily in, because content is great. It's part of your inbound strategy. Now, if nobody knows what inbound marketing is where you engage your audience and you bring them to them, rather than an outbound where you're doing cold calling, cold emailing. And inbound works so much better because you're making that connection and that relationship, and you're building that trust with them. And that's where your content's going to come in. You want to find answers and provide the answers. And now Google even has a little timer on there that'll say how long content is. So it'll say this, blog is 5 minutes long. This is a 3-minute read. They're testing that out right now because people want the answer as fast as possible. They don't want to read through a blog post anymore and spend 10, 15 minutes to find an answer when they can find it in 3 minutes or less, or 5 minutes or less. So we're starting to see that now. So make sure that when you write your content, it's not about the length anymore. It's about getting them in the beginning and giving them the answers to their questions as fast as possible, or solving their problems as fast as possible. It's also about thought leadership. Make sure you stand out. Make sure you are the expert in your field, because they're going to trust you a lot more. They're going to come out and say, hey, I want to work with this agency. I want to work with this person, because they know what they're doing and talking about, and they have the answer to my problems. And like we said, content should focus on giving the answer fast. People, they only have a 3-second attention span. We've been talking about this the entire conference. That attention span is going down. People don't want to read long blogs anymore or read your long posts anymore on social media. They want an answer. They want it fast. We're going to talk a little bit about paid ads. Now, this is a controversial subject because everybody goes, is paid ads working? And we talked about this a little bit this morning, or is it more organic? Paid ads are great if your business is ready and all of your marketing materials is ready to handle that, and it is optimized to handle that. A lot of businesses don't. So when you want to do a paid ad, you want to be as specific as possible, not digital marketing. That's not, it's too vague. You're not going to get the results. And especially if you have a landing page that's just your website, people are going to get distracted too much because on your website, you have check out our calculators, check out this, watch our video. There's too many distractions. You want a very simple landing page attached to your ads that is just, this is the services, this solves your problem, fill in the form right here. And it goes straight into your sales funnel. Because if you have too many distractions, they're not going to fill out that form. They're going to be distracted, they're going to lose interest, and they're going to go and you lose that lead. Now, we touched a little bit on websites too in this conference. Now, websites, it doesn't have to be expensive. There are so many options. There's Wix, there's WordPress, very affordable. I believe WordPress is like $189 for the year. So like these platforms don't have to be expensive, but you want to focus not on just being a static website and say, here's my services. You want to be interactive. So we're seeing that with a lot of our clients. Think about your banks. Have you ever gone onto a bank website and they asked you to fill out a loan and you're playing with the little, calculators, adjusting it? Those are interactive. That's what people want. People want to be essentially entertained on your website. Another thing we're working on that we are adding to our website is a form where we're going to ask them a series of questions about their marketing. And once they fill out that form, or once they finish, then they're going to fill out their information and we'll message them the results. So that's also capturing leads. And the more somebody does on a form, a lead form, so take a regular lead form where they just fill out their information and then you email them. Compared to, I answer a series of questions and spend about 5 minutes on it, and then you ask me for my information. Which one do you think they're more likely to fill out? The second one, I spent 5 minutes on this. So I am more likely to go through it and put in my information for you to email me the results compared to if you just asked me to do that in the beginning. So a lot of times we're seeing that as higher generation of leads. And like we said, we touched on inbound marketing. This brings clients to you. You engage with them. You attract them by answering their questions, by saying I'm a thought leader. They continue to follow you. You continue to provide those answers for them. And you build that trust and you establish yourself as an expert in your field. So then when they're ready to buy and say, this is the right agency or person for me, that's when they go ahead and they buy from you compared to everybody else. Inbound marketing is also a great way to stand out from your competition. What do you do that nobody else does and that you do better than everybody else? And it's a lot less costlier. Outbound is very expensive. You got to think about ads, getting telemarketing, hiring a salesperson, doing all these networking events. Those are all money. Where inbound is just creating the content, creating that relationship and bringing it to them. So it's a lot more cost affordable. So I want to leave some time for questions, but does anyone have any questions? So like we talked about with strategy, you have many different options and we want to be focusing on the right channels. You don't have to use every single marketing channel. You don't have to be on every single social media platform. You don't need to be spending Google ads, Meta ads, LinkedIn ads, TikTok ads. You have to be where it makes the most sense because that's going to contain your marketing budget and that's going to give you the best return on investment. And I also want to leave everybody with this. And this is something that you can ask yourself as well as asking others is, do you want to be a Post or do you want to be a Kellogg's? And that's something that you want to think about when you're looking at your marketing budget and your strategies. Okay, so I want to wish everybody safe travels and a safe and happy holidays. And thank you so much.